All right, I wanted to make a quick video, talk through a topic that's getting a lot of press recently, and that is companies stopping their 401k match. Most famously, ExxonMobil just recently stopped the 401k match. And so if you're in a position where you had a match, you no longer have a match, we'll talk through some of the decisions that you now have to make. First and foremost, it's important to understand the language of 401ks. So in the IRS's eyes, a 401k is split into three buckets. And the money that you have in a 401k is categorized in one of these ways. So let's talk through them real quick. First and foremost, we have pre-tax over here on the left. Pre-tax is the dominant player here. Why is that? The 401k originated in the late 70s, early 80s. At that time, there was no Roth IRA, there was no Roth 401k, so all contributions were tax deductible, and they grew tax deferred. What does that mean? You get a tax deduction now for putting money in the red variety, and then you are going to be taxed later. So you're not taxed now, you actually lowers your taxable income, so you get a tax benefit, grows tax deferred, and then you're taxed on it later. With Roth, we see the exact opposite. We pay tax today, no tax benefit today, but it grows tax-free. And after 5 years and 59 and a half, and as long as you follow both of those requirements successfully, your Roth assets are tax-free. You get to take them out with any tax consequences. Now, you likely know those. The one that's a little more confusing is this after-tax bucket. If your company just stopped the 401k match, this blue after-tax bucket, this is what you'll want to understand, and your decisions are going to revolve around this. Now, let's take a look at this next slide here. So, navigating the 401k contribution without a match. Two rules, two IRS paragraphs and part of the tax codes that you're going to want to understand, 402G and 415C. 402G, you've probably never heard the term, but you know what it is. You're allowed to put $19,500 in your 401k every year. You get to decide pre-tax or Roth. So red or green, that's your choice. As long as your 401k allows both. You can add $6,500 if you're over age 50. So that's 402G. What is 415C? 415C, and I kind of emphasize it here, your total limit that you're allowed to put in a 401k every year is not $19,500, it's $57,000. Add another $6,500 for over 50. This includes three sources. First, your contributions, your $19,500, whatever you put in. Second, company match. Now that's going away if this applies to you. So number two is no longer applicable. So number three is your after-tax contributions. So in other words, you're allowed to go above and beyond the $19,500 limit. You can put in more. It's just that $19,500 either going to be pre-tax or Roth. Everything above $19,500, or if you're over 50, add $6,500. Everything above that limit will be after tax. So you get no tax deduction for after-tax money. It grows tax deferred. And the cost basis, whatever you put in, can come out tax-free as long as you follow the 59 and a half rules. But you also have the option to take your after-tax contributions and you can convert them to Roth 401k. So the ExxonMobil 401k plan allows you on an annual basis, you can take all of your after-tax money, you can convert all of it to a Roth 401k where it will grow tax-free. So in other words, you could max out the pre-tax bucket, get the tax deduction, and then you could put in a huge amount, taking you all the way up to $57,000 as an after-tax contribution, but simply take all of that money, convert it to a Roth 401k. The ExxonMobil 401k allows you to do that. Let's look at a couple case studies. So case study number one. We want to be mindful that if your company stopped the 401k contribution, it's likely because things are in a rough period, and that is certainly the case. And so layoffs are something that is on the horizon. It's been happening. It will continue to happen. So what does that mean? The objective here, if you're in a single income situation, whether you're married or single, if you're the only income, you need to weather the storm, and you need to make sure you have available emergency funds. If you're in a good position with emergency funds, I still think it could be a great idea to utilize your 401k. So in other words, don't stop contributing just because the company match stopped. And I say that because 401ks are not treated like IRAs. The IRS allows you, with an IRA, you can go back to the prior year and you can make contributions. So in other words, you don't have to make your 2020 IRA contribution in this calendar year. You can see how the rest of the year, you can see what happens, wait until tax day, April 15th, and if you're in a good situation, you can then say, all right, let's make an IRA contribution for the prior year. You're not allowed to do that with 401ks. You get one chance, and you have to, whatever you put in that calendar year is what is in there. And so there are no dewbacks, there are no restarts. With 401ks, if you want to utilize that tax benefit and get your money growing in a tax-deferred or tax-free manner, you have to make the contribution in that calendar year. So if your emergency fund is in a healthy situation, I would still utilize the 401k even though you're not getting a match. Let's look at a different case study. Let's pretend that your income situation is in a great position. So you're a dual income household, both of you are working, and let's pretend that you've got the emergency fund under control. So in this situation, I would view this as an opportunity. So while we would certainly prefer to just get the free money, so a company match is obviously preferable, take this as an opportunity to do enormous Roth contributions. And here's what I mean. So if you're a dual income household, let's pretend that your total household income is over $340,000 a year. If you're in this position, that's a terrific income, and you're at a 32% marginal tax rate. That is a big jump from the 24% tax rate. And so if this is you, you're probably doing pre-tax contributions to get the tax deduction for your 401k for the $19,500. So step one. Whoops, $19,500. Step one is just max that out. Make sure you're doing that. Now, step two is we then want to max out the after-tax contributions. So what does that mean? Like I mentioned in the previous slides, you're able to go above $19,500. You can put in $57,000 in your 401k. So $57,000 minus your $19,500, that leaves you with $37,500. If you're a dual income household, that can be both of you, so you can then put in $75,000 in an after-tax bucket. Key point here is my bottom bullet point. If you put $75,000 into the after-tax buckets in a given year, both of you in your household do that, you're able to convert that $75,000 to a Roth 401k. So in other words, the IRS, they allow you to make after-tax contributions and then take the entire thing, convert it to a Roth 401k. So even though you no longer have a company match, that's disappointing. Huge opportunity for you to take advantage of the after-tax bucket, and the ExxonMobil plan allows you to, on an annual basis, convert after-tax contributions into a Roth 401k. So if you're in this situation, definitely something to take advantage of and think through, as long as your emergency fund is in a good spot. Quick disclaimer, this content is educational in nature and does not constitute an advisory relationship. If you're in need of advice, I would encourage you to seek your advisor or establish an advisory relationship. Thanks for watching.